Good morning traders, I'm Luke from Discipline Trader. I'm going to do some live trading for you today. I will be trading the FTSE 100 and today is the 27th of April. I would like to do this regularly. I don't know what that's going to look like at the moment, but I will give it some thought. If you've got any ideas, let me know down in the comments and I'll definitely give them a look. I'm going to go away and do some analysis for today and then I'll come back and run you through what I'm looking at. Okay, so morning analysis pretty much done. So I'll run you through what I'm looking at. Basically, I trade using predominantly support and resistance areas. So what I will base my analysis on are support and resistance bands on the 4-hour chart, which you can see on this chart by the black lines. So currently price is between this band up here and this band down here. And then on any particular day, I like to look at the pivots and the open, high, low and close from the previous day. So these points sort of add confluence to my 4-hour support and resistance bands. So for example, the band up at sort of 303 to 309 has 2 points of intraday support and resistance in there, which is adding a lot of confluence. And actually, if we go back to yesterday, price had a run up late in the day, just before the dividend, touched this area and sold off. So I would be more than happy to look for sells up at that area again. In between there, we've got two sort of intraday pockets of support and resistance. I'm not as favourable to trading from these as my 4-hour bands, but if the price action is right, then and the setups happen, then my testing shows that these are profitable just as these are. So I won't be ignoring the setups if they do happen within these areas. Further down, we're in a bit of a tight space down here at the moment. We've got this intraday area here and this 4-hour area of support and resistance here. I'm not going to trade between these two areas. There's just not enough meat on the bone sort of thing. So before I can start trading, price is even going to need to break out above this area here or break out below this area here before I start really getting interested. Maybe if the right price action and the right setups happen right at the top of the zone or right at the bottom of this area here, then I'll be interested, but we'll see. Further down, we've got another support and resistance here, the 4-hour area here with today's S3 in it, which again, that's a nice area of support and resistance with confluence there as well from the intraday support and resistance. So again, that one would be a decent area to look to take a trade. So all there is to do now is wait for the open. We're 10 minutes from the open, so I've left it quite late this morning to do the analysis. We'll see how today pans out, and I'll keep you posted with any trades that happen. Okay, so just a few seconds to the open now. I'm not really expecting fireworks or anything. We've drifted down to this little band below. Okay, so we're moving up. So it's just a matter of waiting now for price to act in such a way that provides me with a setup. I'm not going to be rushing into any trades or anything like that. I think a lot of people think trading is action, but for me a lot of it is just waiting around, waiting for price to set up in a particular way, waiting for the price to come to me really, and then I act on that. I'm just going to jump out to an hourly chart to show you what I was talking about earlier. So this is this week. As you can see, this was the open this week. This is off the back of the French elections. So we had a run up. We touched this band up here that I talked about this morning, where I'd be more than happy to sell from yesterday. So the sell-off came with the dividend yesterday. So now we're back down at this band here. So if we broke through, returned, I'll be more than happy to sell. If we rallied up to this band again, I would be more than happy to sell. The buy is probably less favourable, but if the price action's right, we know we've got a little intraday pocket of support and resistance just above, so it would need to get up there show sort of holding price, if you like, show that it's comfortable above that level, return, give me a buy signal, and I will look to trade that long. But for now, we have just opened. We go back today. Here we are. We're coming down a little bit now, but like I said, nothing to be done just as yet. I will keep an eye on this and come back to you when I have something else to say. Okay, so just a little update to the price action. We have now broken down below this 4-hour support and resistance band. So what I'm looking for now is for price to return up to here. And I would look to take a short, targeting probably the band below. But we'll see what happens. This could well just sell off all the way down to this band, in which case I would be interested in buying. But I think my preference is definitely selling from this band here. But we'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted. Okay, so just another little update. Prices actually started to pull back a little bit now. Whether it's going to have enough strength to get back up to our 4-hour support and resistance band, I don't know. I would definitely like it to. But just looking at the news announcements for today, and we've got quite a lot actually. If I just show you. Here you can see at 12:45 we've got the Euro minimum bid rate, and then at 1:30 we've got the ECB press conference, amongst other things. Going into this then, what I'm slightly concerned about is that as we get closer to that time, price action just falls to sleep really. I would rather get a trade in this morning rather than late morning, because I think in anticipation of those news announcements, price may start just sort of trickling along in between sort of maybe a small range of price, like it's been doing for the past couple of days, to be honest. As you can see, it's not been overly exciting price action, but we've got a nice move down this morning so far. If we can get this retracement into this band, I would definitely look to sell if the right price action occurs. And if it does, like I say, I'll run you through that. Just to let you know how basically I'm going to be doing the trades on this account. What I've done is open just another small account for basically YouTube purposes really. I was trying to think at what size I should trade at for the YouTube account, and I've settled on £5 a point. I know there's going to be traders trading smaller than this, and there's definitely going to be traders trading bigger than this, which is fine. But I think for the viewers of the YouTube channel, this is probably a decent mid-ground in regards to maybe where they're at. So I thought that'd be the best way to go with that. You can see that my automatic stop to come on is 40 points. I don't often risk 40 points. That's there as an emergency stop. So basically I use an exit method, and price will do a certain stuff, meet certain criteria, and that will prompt me to get out of the market. Very, very rarely does that 40 point stop ever get hit, especially with the current volatility on the FTSE. You would have to be pretty unlucky to get stopped out for 40 points at the moment, day trading. So, like I say, if we get into a trade, I'll run you through everything that I'm thinking and that I'm doing. But yeah, they're just the mechanics of how this trading account for the YouTube purposes is going to work. So I'll come back to you when we've got more to do. Okay, so just another quick update. We have finally reached the 4-hour support and resistance band above now. As you can see, we're getting a little bit of a rejection straight away. I'll keep you posted as to whether I enter a trade on this or not yet. But it looked good. It's looking good so far. Okay, so we've just gone past 20 past 10 now. As you can see, price got up to our 4-hour support and resistance band. It has reacted away from it, and should it re-enter this area and produce a signal candle for me, I will be shorting it, but it does need to happen rather soon. Basically what I look for from an area like this is for price to move into it, test this blue line here, which it's done, re-enter, and then give me another signal, and that's when I take the trade. You can see that we've come close to re-entering, but just not quite got there. It's very easy to get trapped into chasing a trade, especially one like this where you've had a decent rejection bar, price then starts moving down, so you get panicked and you think, oh, maybe I should just jump into this one. But as you can see, this isn't going anywhere at the moment, so that would have been the wrong move. So I will just wait for price to come up higher. Hopefully it comes higher. Sellers find value at this region, and I can get into the market there and take it down, as I say, to this band below. Who knows, it might sort of rally from here and come all the way up through here. What I suspect will probably happen is it just sort of bounces along here until 12, 1 o'clock when the news announcements come out, and we don't really get to trade until this afternoon maybe. But we'll keep watching. Hopefully, like I say, if price does move up into this area and start giving me signals to get into the market, then I will do so, and I'll run you through it then. Right, so we've now just gone 12 o'clock, and as you can see, as feared, price is literally just trickling along waiting for this news announcement. A telltale sign of waiting around, as you can see, is like a triangle pattern. Price squeezing effectively. There's not really much to do here other than wait for this to pass. Like I say, we've got news announcements between sort of, I think it's 12:30 and 1 o'clock-ish. Maybe 1:30. So we will wait for these to take place and see if there's anything to do afterwards. So I'll report back after the news announcements. Okay, so Mario's finally finished talking now. And we've had a nice piercing candle, so I'll enter below the low of this at 47. So I'll leave that order in for the next 5 minutes. If that gets triggered, then I'll be looking to take this down to the next band at the 7230 area. Okay, so let's update this trade. As we can see, price has moved against us. It just ticked us in to the position, and it's bounced basically from where we got in. So we're up at the 5-minute 200 at the moment. If we get a nice clean break through this 200, then my stop will come down to the break of that candle. That's my exit rules. So I'm not willing to try and sit in this and see if it's going to reverse up here further down the line. We're getting towards 3 o'clock now. I don't want to be in this trade for the next couple of hours or holding it into tomorrow or anything like that. So usually the winning trades, when I get into them, they will set up as this one has done here, and more often than not they will just usually, if they're going to do it, just fall straight to target or move up straight to target. As we can see, this one has moved against us. It could turn at this point here. I'm not really expecting it to at this point, to be honest. I know from testing that once they go against me like this, there's a high percentage that this is going to be stopping me out, which is fine. Losing trades happen all the time, and if you're going to get upset or angry about them, then you're not going to do very well in trading, I'm afraid. But we shall see. Like I say, I need a clean break through this 200 moving average. My stop will go to the top of there, and then we'll see what happens. Well, 5 minutes later, and this trade looks completely different now. I was honestly expecting that to move up and close through this 200, having tested it once, twice, 3, 4 times already today. I wasn't expecting a reaction for a 5th time, but there you are. You never know what's going to happen in the markets. I mean, this in itself is a nice engulfing candle. Engulfs at least the previous 10 to 12 candles in size. So that is a good bearish sign. Now in terms of targets, like I said before, I'm aiming for this band down here. So we'll aim for a little bit above and watch it. If it does get down there, we do seem to be struggling massively at these levels here. It seems to keep bouncing, so we need to move through here, and then obviously we bottomed here, here and here, so this is another area that it might potentially struggle at if it gets down there, but we shall see. We've got just under an hour and a half until the market closes. It would be nice to see it move down to this support and resistance band down here, but we'll see what happens. But this band up here has held up quite nicely today. We identified this morning that this would be a good place to sell from. Obviously the waiting for the ECB press conference and the news this afternoon slowed the market down somewhat. We've seen a lot of chop. You'll also notice that the candles, they're not opening where the previous ones closed very often. I don't really like seeing this. It's usually indicative of choppy price action, but who knows. So here we see we're pushing down to these lows now. This is the kind of price action I like to see once I've entered a trade. Nice, bearish, decisive price action. Hopefully this can now quickly push down to the band down here, and we will be finally finished for the day. Some people say that trading is a quick and easy job, but we've been sat here since, well, at least 7 o'clock this morning, and it's probably going to be a 4:30 finish, so it's been a nice full long day of watching the market with not a lot happening, but you've got to stay on your toes, I guess, and hopefully this will reward us for our endeavours. But we'll keep watching and see what happens. Okay, so not the result I was expecting, to be honest. After we got into the trade up here, I genuinely thought that that was going to stop me out, but it moved swiftly down, and this is what I was talking about earlier, where it moves with a sort of purpose. There are no real pullbacks in this move down to this area, and that tends to be what I look for when I see the signals from the areas that I'm looking at. So a bit of a delayed move down, but it happened nevertheless. It would have been easy to get scared out of the trade, I think, up here. A lot of people would be panicking and things, but as you would have seen from the video, if you know what your rules are and you stick to them, then they look after the profits themselves. So I shall leave that there. If you have any questions around anything that you've seen in the video, please post any questions in the comments. Please feel free to drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you've not done already. Thanks very much, and I'll see you later.